Nearly 40 years ago, long before the bridge to nowhere became well known, Huell Howser had a television show called Videolog. In one episode, Huell hiked with famed historian John Robinson and two rangers along the East Fork of the San Gabriel River to explain the history of the bridge. This was the one and only time they met. Huell passed away in 2013. John Robinson died 5 years later in 2018. The following footage was taken in 1989.
The locals call it the Bridge to Nowhere.
If you look over here, you can get a view down.
Look at this view.
View down into the Narrows here.
Whew.
You can see this bridge is quite high.
Oh, man. Look at that. Oh. It was quite a sight. And after looking over the side a while longer, we hiked down to the bottom of East Fork Canyon, to the Narrows, where we had lunch, and I found out the history of the bridge.
The bridge was part of a Los Angeles County project to build all the way up to the East Fork, over Blue Ridge, and down to Wrightwood. And that was planned back in the late 1920s. And they actually started on the highway up the East Fork in 1929. And when they reached here, about 1935, they built this bridge at that time with prison labor.
Now, they finished the bridge in 1936.
November 1936, it was finished.
But soon after that, something rather traumatic happened.
Very much so, yes. The night of March 1st and 2nd, 1938, 14 inches of rain fell in one night up here in the San Gabriel Mountains, and the flood washed down this canyon and washed everything out except this bridge. Everything else was gone. All of that road work and the other bridges, which were, quite a bit lower. But this was left.
Now, why did this bridge survive the flood and nothing else did?
Probably because it's so high.
I got you.
You see, well above the flood level.
And the bridge is about 150 feet above the river bed, and the flood stage probably was about 50 feet flowing through her, so it would have been about a third of the way up. Enough so that it might have hit the abutments, but the main part of the structure was safe from the flood.
So there was a lot of water going through here.
Right. Where we're standing, it was probably over 50 feet deep.
How did it get its name, the Bridge to Nowhere?
Hikers gave it that name probably in the 1950s. They would be hiking way up this canyon, and then all of a sudden they would come to this bridge, which seemed like that it just led to nowhere. So it just
it does lead to nowhere.
Yes, it does, and so it is aptly named.
What role do you think this bridge plays in the history and folklore and whatever of Southern California? I mean, it's kind of one of these little forgotten...
I think it's an example of there's some places where Mother Nature is still in charge, and it's a good reminder that man can't control everything. There are some places that you ought to respect what nature's forces are and stand back from. This is a good example, and there are several others in this mountain range where man has made attempts to build things and lost in the long run, because no matter how hard you try and build a road up this canyon, the forces of nature are eventually going to take it out. Yeah, you can look at it as a symbol of one that nature won.
It stands there in all its massive beauty and grace. A bridge completed over 50 years ago and never used. A man-made bridge in the middle of a wilderness. A bridge that leads to nowhere. In the Angeles National Forest, I'm Huell Howser for Videolog.
Videolog is made possible through a generous grant from the Ralph M. Parsons Foundation.